Right. There we have it. There we have it. So we have just a few of us joining today, and then there'll be others obviously that watch this recording. So welcome everybody. Now, I know you're going to freak out a little bit, Judy and Capri, because you've got your videos off and everything like that. And I mean, you're here for view, Claire. Thank you very much. So we are going to be talking about kind of like the post energies of the new moon and everything like that, you know. So there's been a lot of energy going on, a lot of energy. And this is kind of like by means of an integration. I kind of thought that it would be better to actually have more of an integration session today because I've got a lot of Gospel of Marie stuff that I want to share with you, okay, which I think is going on. All right. Now, can I just ask you guys, because I'm going to ask you to, like I say, get a little bit interactive with this so I can actually zone into you guys and help you more with what you personally got going on. So I want to know, like, and you can just put one word, okay? And I want to know what you would say is the biggest challenge for you guys right now. What are you feeling as we've kind of like moved? I mean, like, I'm going to chuck some ideas out there. Is it anxiety, uncertainty, fear, overwhelm? Like, what is it that everybody's feeling? And you know what? Feel free to unmute because there's only four of us in the room today. So we can actually do that, or you can pop it in the message box. What do you say that you guys are feeling? How are you feeling since the shift of the two portals? How's that feeling? Okay. Anybody there? Judy, are you there? Capri, are you there? Okay, okay, yes, all right. We got okay, lack of routine and confusion. Okay, great. Well, not great, but you know, it's like, yeah. Debbie's here now. Hi, Debbie. So, Debbie, just to bring you up to speed, and Miriam, oh God, everybody's in now. Okay, there I was saying we've got a nice quiet group of four now. There's a stampede of people. Hi, guys. Hi. Okay, so Judy's feeling quiet and settled. So I'm just going to just fill you guys in. And like I say, this is for the purpose of people at home as well. Just to bring you up to speed, I said that this session would be extremely assistive to actually be more integration. And I'm going to get into what's going on my end and why I'm saying that. So what are you guys feeling, Miriam and Debbie? What would you say is the word of the day? How are you feeling? Are you feeling uncertain, anxious, or calm and settled, quiet and settled? What's going on with you guys right now that you're feeling since the double portal, the new moon and the solstice? And you can either unmute or you can just pop it in the box. Yes, absolutely, Claire. You can share. Yeah.
I feel really good. It's almost like I didn't say it, but I feel really good.
But that's fine because I always say
Yeah,
that we can't all be down. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I mean, I always say that when I'm like, oh God, I feel
yeah.
like shit. And somebody's like, well, I'm good. Imagine if we all felt down at the same
I
time.
know.
That's how we got to be. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
yeah,
100%. So thank you
yeah,
for Claire
yeah,
and
yeah.
and Judy for holding it down.
It's like I didn't say it though. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like when people say, "Oh, I feel really good," it's like wham.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm
Spirit's
like,
like,
no,
oh,
I feel
really?
really good actually. I
Okay,
do feel
good.
really good.
Good, 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 good. So that is perfect. So like
Yeah.
there's the reason I'm sharing with you guys, okay, is because the tone of this class today, I'm calling it the space in between, okay? So it's like, and I'm going to explain in depth as to what's going on. And I also want to bring on your radar as well. Raise hands or agree if anybody has ever heard of a god called Khnum in Egypt. He's a Nile god. Alrighty. Because we always work with like, the ones that we know, which is like Sekhmet and Toth. And Khnum, I've known about for a long time, and he's come in like a freight train and for good reason as well. So I'm going to get into that. I just wanted to know who knew who. And Judy, I'm so happy that the twin flame meditation is helping. Yes, Miriam, I felt the same. The energy lifted last night. I actually had, and so did my daughter, a crazy, 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 crazy dream last night. And it's going to be all put into this. So I slept terribly last night, but I woke up this morning feeling very like something had shifted. Something had completed. And I feel, like you say, that a calm presence. I don't think my body has felt this, or my nervous system has felt this calm in a very long time. To the point I was lying on my beanbag yesterday, kind of like that's the place where I integrate. And I was just like, oh my God, my body feels so peaceful. And it's been such a long time of feeling so anxious that it's your normal. And it's actually not your normal. It's just like what we've been dealing with. So Okay, so now all of you that join here, okay, all of you that are connected, see my Batman sign in the sky, everybody that's on this group that watches the videos on YouTube and everything like that, let it be known that you are indeed my tribe and we are all on the same page, right? And there is a reason why we work together. I'm not just your standard teacher that just bangs out, things like that. When I speak about the Hermetic principles, you guys fully understand it. All of you do. All of you fully understand it. All of you are kind of like connected in the same realm. The only difference is I'm on this side of the screen and you're watching at home or whatever. We're all teachers. We're all teachers. So this is what my work is all about. And the purpose as to why I come here is to bring everybody into their space so they can be empowered. I am not interested in giving my power away to a shaman. I'm not interested in giving my power away to another teacher who has an opinion. I'm actually, the only opinion that I listen to is the all mind, and that comes through me. And I think that that is really, really important now that we're at this stage of the game where we want the power and the energy in our hands. So when I work with the Hermetic principles, especially the Hermetic principles, that is very much giving you a direct conversation with the all mind, which is the direct energy of spirit, the I am presence. And that is where we're at right now. Okay. We should be there. If you're still giving your power away to other teachers and everything like that and taking on their opinions, then it clouds what you're trying to do. However, if you're out working with any other Hermetic teachers, and there are many out there, they are going to encourage you to come in here. Here's the stuff. Now go and self-study. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. That's why our tribe here, this is what it's all about. So my main mission on this cusp, coming from here, coming for over here, is basically about self-empowerment and about you guys bringing your power and your blueprints online so I can get this gig done. And I'm putting my big shout out there. And the only way that we're going to do that is by understanding and knowing that we hold these gifts and abilities within us. Nobody's going to show us those. And we just need to activate them and start working with them. And it really is as simple as, here's the principles, here's the ascension ladder, here's how to mix them up. And then all of a sudden, in the same day, you will see shifts, exponential shifts. Soon as you see that, those kind of results, you don't need anyone. Soon as you know that you can channel, why bother going to have another reading with someone? Why bother? You know what I mean? Because you can sit there and just get your pen out and go, right, okay, Toth, come through me today. And Khnum is one of the gods that I've known for a long time. And today, I was like, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to connect with him or not, but I'm going to bring him into the space now. We're going to do a short meditation in a minute, come into grounding. But just to talk about Khnum a little bit, I was like, I haven't channeled this guy before. So anyway, I went in and I said, Khnum, I want to speak to you. And I said, I am Khnum. I am. I am Khnum. I am. And I said it 3 times. And usually that's enough. And I was like, it's like knocking at the door, nobody's answering. I was like, shit, okay. So I went in and I called on Toth and Sekhmet and I was like, please take me to the halls of Amenti. And it was almost like they were like, slap hands, you're supposed to do it. There's protocol, Marie. If you want to speak to the Ascended Masters, come down to the halls of Amenti. So I had to go into a deep meditation, got Toth and Sekhmet. They took me down. I was met by Anubis. I said, please, can you let me into the halls of Amenti? I want to go and see Khnum. So I basically was just like, I was like a little bit in my ego. I was like, I don't need to do this. Surely can't I just come in the back door? I'm like VIP. Do you know what I mean? They were like, no, you're not. So anyway, I came in the front door and I walked in and I saw all these different doors. And then I just saw this watery door, this like watery like portal. And that was where Khnum is because he's a Nile god. So I kind of had to go underwater. But my point is once I did that, then I had a fat chat with him and it just came through. I have never channeled this god before, ever. Okay. And it was a really deep, easy conversation. So my point is basically like, we've got this channel. The more you work with the Hermetic principles, the more these channels are available to all of us. We don't have to sit there because it's all one consciousness. Or I'm just a channel for Sekhmet, or I'm just a channel for Toth. I believe that we have a signature frequency, which is our most developed muscle. Mine is obviously Sekhmet. And then. But we can work with them all, So this is the thing. This is where we're at now. Somebody asked me on Saturday night, who do you channel? I was like, all of them. And they were in disbelief. And I was like, but it's consciousness, it's not a one-trick pony. And we're all there now. So if you have a direct telephone line, you don't need to go into anyone else. That is the space in between. You've gone through your ego death this year, and we are now in this space in between. And this is where it's a bit disorientating, which is why I asked how everybody's feeling and like a bit anxious and everything like that, lack of routine, confusion, because everything's been swept away. So this session and class today is to keep the energy moving, to build the bridge, to be able to land into January. Okay. Now, I have a special release at the moment, or a release party. I have basically been commissioned by Toth to bring together this Heka Codes group. Okay. Now, as you know, we have the Sekhmet pilgrimage on May the 15th. 16th is new moon, so we go to the Sphinx on the new moon to start the whole journey there. But Toth kind of really came through really strong, and he's now commissioned 3 Sundays, January the 18th, which is the new moon, for 3 Sundays. We finish on February the 1st, which is the full moon. Now, this course that I'm going to be running is a preempt to Egypt, but not compulsory. So it may be that you do this and it's going to unlock all of the stuff. It's going to help you remind you and remember what it is that you've got going on, remind you on how to work with the principles, remind you how to blend them with lots of other energies so you can do your cauldron mix whenever you want to. So now we are accompanied by Thoth and Sekhmet. We are also accompanied by the Heka gods. We will be working with the Hermetic principles and applying them, and we will be working with the chakras as well that accompany them because they're multidimensional portals. Now, it sounds like a lot, but this is how you work with all of this energy, direct telephone to the all mind. When you come out of that Heka Codes course, it really is boom, 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 boom. Then it's self-study. Okay. So my job here is to kind of give you the format that I work with, have you get going with it. Okay. Intention plus action equals creation. Remember how to work with the alchemy. When you come out of it, once you know, you can't unknow, right? That is the absolute embodiment. That will lead you to Egypt if you want to come, or it's going to just basically open the portal for everything else that you are ordained to align with in this life. And it may be that you go to Egypt with someone else. You might end up in Greece. Who cares? But it's the portal entry 2026 in January that's then going to preempt or prepare you for the fire horse in February. So for those that are really ready, because it's extremely anxiety ridden if you're not ready, okay, to actually sign up for these things. But it is my job to push you a little bit, okay, to actually say, come on, you can do it, because it's scary as fuck doing this. Let me tell you. And I never ever say that it's like, oh, look at Marie, she's online again. She's off to Egypt. I shit myself all the way through it. If you could have a nanny cam on here, you'd see me smashing things and going, swearing at spirit and then apologizing ever such a lot, because it's like, it's a lot, you know? So it's like, it's a lot. I'm not lying. But the thing is, that's the old timeline. So I get the apprehension. But let me tell you, you're not doing it on your own. You're stepping into the circle with me and others like me, okay? And others like you. It's about meeting each other. It's about connecting and coming together as a community and landing this mothership now. So if I'm still doing temple with you and we're still just turning up on the screen in a few months' time, I've not done my job properly. I haven't. You know what I mean? So it's like, it really is time for you to step out. And then who knows, once you've done the course with me or you come to Egypt or both, who knows that you won't be doing that? If you might blow your socks off and just say, actually, I got something to share. Good, because I know you have, because this is why we're gathering. So that's my whole question right now, is like, you've done all this hard work. We have been grinding down so much, doing Dark Nights of the Soul stuff. Did you really think that that was just to basically feel okay watching your series channel on the Sunday, just so you could just be okay? No, you're big light workers. Every single one of you are. And the shit that you've been through, it's not small at all. I mean, I've been working with people where cancer 3 times in one lifetime. Do you know what I mean? And now they're doing the work that I do. I mean, it's incredible. Do you think we just did that just 'cause? Did you think we came here for that? No, we didn't. We came here for 2026 and beyond for the magic. So if you've been dying and if you've had an absolute ass kicking, well, you know what? You were supposed to, because you're part of my tribe, I'm part of yours. And we came here to break stuff down, but it's not the why you came. So don't be scared and fearful of stepping out if you've got something to share with the world. Finding your voice. Don't be scared and thinking that that's what's going to shroud you. No, that was just the rite of passage. You didn't come here for that. You came here for this, right? So if you feel called to join me on January the 18th, it's going to be very, very powerful. And there's going to be a WhatsApp group in between. So we're going to help with integration as we work through the week. And as a collective, it's really going to ignite stuff. It really is. And you get a lot of recorded content with it, which is like the meditations and things like that, which will just constantly be giving you activations. So it really is a one-stop shop. And like I say, this is all about inspired action, this call as well. So if you're feeling your wheels spinning, quite rightly so, because we're about to go into a very powerful year. So now we're going to gather our energies together and we're going to just come into a space and kind of come into a grounded space within and just kind of like, calm it all down a little bit. And then we're going to go into further teachings and more meditations. Okay. So now just closing your eyes and finding your comfortable space. Okay. And just taking a nice big deep breath in. So inhale and exhale. And another breath like that. Inhale and exhale. And then this is the biggest one now. Breathing in all the way to the top. Hold your breath. Hold it. And slowly exhale. And just feel everything start to settle. And as you allow your awareness just to become a little bit more aware, I suppose, we go into our quiet space. We become very sensitive to sound and noise and energies around us. But I want you to become really aware of your physical body. Really aware of the beautiful physical vessel that has held it down for you all the way through this intense awakening. And I want you to kind of put your hands on your heart, and I want you to just thank you, thank yourself, and take a moment. Instead of looking at the horizon and thinking what you haven't done, can we just take a moment and recognize what you have done? That you're here now with this amazing group, sharing our energies and frequencies. And just that your body is here, that it's still breathing, it's strong, it's alive. And this body that you love so much and loves you, hey, it's only just starting. It's only just starting to get going now. So much purging, so much clearing of your cells, of your DNA, going from 2-strand to 12-strand. There is a lot of renewal that's gone on in your physical vessel, the tiredness, the anxiety, the good days and the bad days. But either way, it's a moment post-solstice. It's a moment to just give your deepest gratitude, love, and thanks to this body. And now you can release your hands and just take some nice slow breaths into the physical. Now we're going to ground into the earth just a little, and I want you to take a breath into the heart. And as you exhale, you're going to activate your golden cord to go all the way down through the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, the root chakra, and take it all the way down into the earth, feeling it penetrate and pierce through the rocks, the molten lava, feeling your energy and your cord getting stronger in its power as it starts to make its way back to Mother. Mother Gaia is also going through what you're going through. She is shedding her shadow. She is exploding volcanoes everywhere. We have an absolute sudden rebirth of dragons coming through these volcanoes. We think we got it intensely. She's doing a thing, but she welcomes you. We're exploding and birthing dragons with her. So we're going to send that energy cord all the way down there to her. And we're going to acknowledge her and say, we see you because she sees us. You feel that cord going all the way down lovingly, just connecting with her heart. And as I always say, she always shows me that she gives it a little bit of tug to take the slack and then further draw you down into the earth towards her. So she's got you nice and tight. And just feeling like your body and your energy field, just giving a sigh of relief. Just allowing any worries, any anxieties just to dissipate into the earth. And as we connect deeply with Mother Earth, we're just going to give our attention and our recognition to the stars above as well. Breathing into the heart. As you exhale, you send that light all the way up out the crown. And you go deeply into the universe like you've got a Wi-Fi sign, just like straight into the cosmos. because this is who you are. This is where you came from. You are indeed God's spark. In fact, you are a holographic reflection because in truth, you are in the all mind, right up there, glowing, glorious, the I am presence. And here you are deciding to take on a form because this is your movie. And here you are, this beauteous being connected to the stars, connected to the earth. There isn't any problems here. You're balanced, man. As above, so below, so within, so without. And then bringing your attention and your focus now back to your physical body, back to your being, and really breathing into the emphasis that you are in that middle place. You're in the realm where everything can become manifest. And that might be a struggle to a lot of us. But actually, it's the purest of gifts because you can't manifest in any other dimension except here. What a gift. You don't get to experience joy in any other place except here. So now, as we stand fully celebrated in our star seed incarnate in our physical bodies in this beautiful world, we then say, quietly or out loud, any energies that I've given away or left behind, I call back to myself now. Any energies I've given away or left behind, I call back to myself now. Any energies I've given away or left behind, I call back to myself now. And you feel all of that energy returning to your energy field. You may feel it coming into a certain part of the body, but you start to feel your physical feeling a little bit stronger, feeling your energy field not so fragmented, bringing it all the way in, just allowing it to return. And that will make you feel a lot more grounded as well. Because we've been working hard, we've been light working hard. And when you're ready, take a nice big deep breath. And you can open your eyes. So, I don't know like what I'm going to call this class, but I kind of said the space in between. So I'm going to like talk a lot about lots of things, and we're going to get into Khnum, which is he's such a powerful god, and he's just one of the oldest gods as well. So I'm going to leave you hanging on a thread there while I go to my pre stuff here. So let's talk about the space in between. Okay. So I've written here, ego death, the masks, sensitivity and abilities, skill sets and abilities at this time are going to be skyrocketing for you. If you're a sensitive channel, then you're going to be super sensitive now, and your dream state is going to be more potent. When you go out there, you're going to see more than you've ever seen before. So expect what you've already got going on expand. Now, I got this message from Toth about a week, 2 weeks ago, about a week ago actually, and he said you're gonna uncover some gifts this week. And I kind of lost my attention on that. But now when I went out into the world, which I don't do often because I'm such a hermit and I love it. But I've also got to get out there now because I came here to do a job. So I can't do it from a laptop. But he said, like, there's going to be more gifts that your blueprint is unlocking now. Why? Because it's a timing issue. These gifts weren't meant for any other timeline except to where you're going. So expect to have some weird and wonderful things happening, some weird and wonderful conversations happening. I'm going to share something which is going to crack you up now. And that's when I thought, oh, it's coming. I was in the coffee shop the other day, and I know all the waiters and everything like that. And he came up to me and he said, there's somebody over there that wants your autograph. And I said, what do you mean? He says, I've told them that they're not who they think you are. They are convinced that you were on stage last night and that I'm very famous, and they want an autograph. So my friend Taps was like, Tapiwa, he was like, I've told them that it's not who you think is, and they're having none of it. And I said, well, go and tell them that you're my agent. Like, but this person was absolutely like, she's famous. I want her autograph. And he was like, honestly, she doesn't. She lives down the road. She's not. She think she is. So when I left there, I thought, oh, that's a big, significant message from spirit. So what I took from that is like, there is going to be a new level of reveal in all of us now, that we're going to be asked to be exposed more so than what we're doing, but not in a way that's traumatic. Now, I'm going to bring up my second story now, which is about destabilizing your field or not. So the principle of gender, or rather actually the principle of Rhythm. Let's go with that one. The principle of rhythm is all about stability. Now, on the last classes that we did, we spoke extensively about containing your stability. Okay. I think I did it on the live. Containing your stability, your energy field is within your pyramid, and this is what it looks like. When your energy field is outside the pyramid and it's too extended, right? You're tapping out. There's nothing to hold you. So that's very, very wobbly like that. Bring your energy fields in and you kind of like anchoring it within your pyramid, right? So when you have at this stage of the game, not always, but I'm telling you guys now, this is kind of the gig. Now, we as light workers, when something goes down, the first place we look, we say, wow, this is my movie. How did I call this in? So we go straight away into inner work, right? Especially when people come and trigger us or things go down, okay? But at this stage of the game, I was told in very uncertain, like clear terms that this point is not about you diving in and doing inner work. It's actually about realizing that people, places, and situations are destabilizing your energy field. This is a boundary issue, not an inner work issue, right? So now what you need to do is remove those, really be honest and truthful with yourself and just go, well, how does that person make me feel? Now, I have the ability to go very, very small around people. And when I'm comfortable with you and we're kumbayaing and we're on the same level, I don't need to do that. And I always thought that it was a Marie issue, got to do some more work, went really small there. It is one of the signs that you will get when that person is destabilizing your field and they just don't belong in your space. Period. One of the signs is that you'll find yourself shrinking a little bit and feeling really small because they're projecting so much. They're pushing your pyramid over and you're allowing it. So now it's like, well, you're wrecking my peace here, man. You know what I mean? I can't have my nervous system wrecked like this. I now need to be, and this is Capricorn energy as well, which is this timeline that we're in. This Capricorn's just moved, or the sun's moved into Capricorn. This is very much to do with the new moons and the solstice and everything like that. It's Capricorn energy, which is like you are not carrying for anyone else. You are not the stability for everybody else's chaos. And you now have to be in service by maintaining your own stability. Okay. It's not about picking up people's shit and basically, taking care of them. They have to do it themselves. So instead of like looking at something and thinking, right, okay, well, I need to go and do some inner work. You don't need to do some inner work. And what happened is I love black coffee and I love this DJ family tradition. Every year we go to this do and we go and basically go and see my favorite DJ. And every year I have to really work hard because it's crowds and it's people and it's after 8 o'clock and I usually go to bed at 8. So I was just like, the whole family goes. And I sat there on Saturday and I was writhing with anxiety and I was just like, I can't go. So I was fighting with protecting my stability and my nervous system with I need to go and have connection with music and dance and my family. So I realized in that moment how often I sacrifice my want to connect. It's got to come with a traumatic push. So for me to go out and dance to music and everything like that, I've got to go and be in a dirty club with loads of dodgy energy. It's dark, get pushed around by everybody, but eventually I'll get going and I'll be fine. That's what I'm doing. So I said to my family, I'm not going. So my husband and the kids and everybody went out clubbing and I stayed at home and it was a massive lesson for me. And that was on new moon. So essentially what I did is I chose my nervous system and my stability, right? And I basically said to myself, I will never go to that club again because when I was at home, I was DJing with my son and we were dancing at home and I was having the best time. That in comparison to having to force myself into dark entity ground space to actually go and dance. And I've done this all along and I didn't think there was that much of a problem. I thought it was a me thing. So this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what you're going to be like challenged to do now. It's about getting your energy aligned with the right people and choosing that. People, places, and situations. That's the new 2026 timeline. So if there's anyone that is basically triggering you in any way, you have to take a good hard look at that. Because if you go into the new timeline compromising yourself in that way, guess what? You're gonna have a problem. You know what I mean? So that's the game. That's the level that we're at right now. So yes, I've written here, choose people, places, and situations that support your field, right? And you will notice it distinctly that you will sit there with people, most of the time you just met 5 minutes ago, because that's usually how it goes. And you just feel so comfortable and you feel safe and it's okay to be you. And people are picking up what you're putting down. And if you're creators and teachers and everything like that, Toth always said to me, actually through my teacher, because she's a pure channel for Toth. And he used to speak through her and he said, you're a juicy strawberry. Why are you giving yourself to someone without taste buds? And I just think that's brilliant. So it's like you are a juicy strawberry. Roll with people that like strawberry juice, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at right now. And that's really important because otherwise you're just going to be pushing an elephant up the hill. So you've got to make sure that all of this is in alignment with what's going on here, right? Because you're important. Okay. So now, okay, so now also as well, the space in between, nothing to cling to here is zero familiarity. And I keep going in and losing connection with my family, with my husband, thinking it's all going wrong, something's really off. But when you're in a massive state of transformation and flux, and from the inside, we're going to feel that with our nearest and dearest, especially if you've got partners or whatever, you're going to start to think, oh God, this is a bit awkward, but you are changing at a rate of knots within. So now start to understand principle of rhythm, going with, okay, this too shall pass. So remember the principle of rhythm is all about being aligned with the in-breath and the out-breath. The principle of rhythm is being really accepting and embracing and working with the fact that you wake up in the morning, you'll sleep at night. It's like every sunset, there's a sunrise. So why is it any different for us? So we expand and we contract all the time. But when we say contraction, it brings up negativity. No, contraction is just the in-breath. It's the in-breath before the exhale. So if you've done some big energy work out there and you're like, wow, I was popping on all cylinders and everything felt so right out there energetically. And then all of a sudden it goes super quiet and you're like, but I've just manifested everything. Why is it so quiet? It's because your system is regulating, because you put it out there and then you contract and you release it. Put it out there and then you contract, right? So it's really important that we do that, right? So the principle of rhythm was also going to really good that this too shall pass. So even as you go into the times where you're like, oh, this is a bit sticky. I'm moving through some stuff in my physical and emotional and mental, blah, blah, blah. It's sticky though, but that's okay because this too shall pass. And then you pendulum swing and you're like, oh, this is really nice. I feel really creative today. But you also must say, this too shall pass. So what is Marie saying? This is the good stuff, Marie. This is joy. Why would I want to say this too shall pass? Because you got to be in neutrality all the time. You cannot cling to joy and you cannot run away from the shit stuff. Okay. You got to know that both of them have their place, but your purpose as a Hermetics kind of teacher, if you like, this is where you got to be. So you are mastering the swing. Be up there, that's okay. Be up there, this too shall pass. Okay, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we're going with, especially in this time of the space in between. So now this is taking me into a little bit of an energy update because of the new moon and the solstice. So we had a double portal at the weekend, which was basically really compounding this space in between, right? And this is a time where you really need to honor, be a hermit. If you feel called, go out, whatever. But either way, you have to make it about you. Now, Carl Jung, or Jung, however you want to say it, I've been looking at a lot of his work, right? And he was talking the other day, and I know he's always done deep studies on empaths and everything like that. He said something the other day, and I was like, whoa, that's actually very interesting. And I believe it's where we are at, those that are doing the work, right? When you go through the ego death, which let's face it, it compounded and peaked through 2025. Okay. So this year has been an absolute brutal mess when it's come to letting go of everything. But it's not really been a mess. It's a rite of passage. So we've gone through this ego death. So we've basically trudged through all this darkness and we've got rid of everything that we don't need to. This is why there's a little bit of disconnect with certain things. So now we're in the space between. He says that some people can do all that hard work and get stuck in this lull and pass on from this life, having just been stuck in the space between. We're not going to do that. And I want to emphasize how important this is because we're going to be here because with every great transition, there is a lull, which is here. Then we begin again. We are now getting the pre-nod for getting inspired action. We're not going to stay here, but you're going to take your time of reprieve and reconfiguration in this space in between, which is basically 22nd today, 21st, 22nd of December. And it's going to go all the way through probably till middle of January, end of January, right? So we've got this space in between here. So do with it what you will, but make sure that you are igniting a bridge, which is what's going to bring your inspired action, which which is why I put the Heka codes course there, which is why Sekhmet wanted her tour in May. But there's lots of other things that you might be wanting to connect to. Connect to them. Connect to them. Take your first logical step. Don't be sitting there thinking, well, I think I'm a teacher, but how do I understand that? How can I have clients? How am I going to do all of this? No, don't go there. Just enjoy the moment that you actually are awakening with a new passage, a new rite of passage. Now, the next logical step, the short, immediate bridge is, where do I go from here to there? What is it? You know what I mean? It may be that you're going to go and attend a course. It may be that you're going to go and, could even be a gym membership, whatever it is that basically feeds you is going to be your bridge, that is an alignment with inspired action. But I'm here to ignite purpose. And I know each and every one of you that hang out with me here and everything like that, you do have a big job, right? And it's going to look very different to what you're doing now. So are you an author? Have you come here to do a sacred circle? Do you want to open a business? What's your gig? You want to go traveling? You want to go and speak on the world stage? What's going on here? Think big. Think big, but it's now time to just give your sacred yes to all of it. And spirit, or rather your spirit, will deliver to you exactly where you're meant to be. This is the pinnacle point of purpose activation. This is why Sekhmet is just like flames up our asses right now. It's just like, right, it's time to go, right? It really is time to go. So now, as the sun enters in Capricorn, which is pretty much about now, the message of that is not carrying for everyone else. Because when you go to the airport security, you can't go through with all those bags. You can't go through because it's just going to bleep. You've got to put that shit down, man. No attachments, no obligations. Now, this time, this space in between is going to bring up a lot of guilt, a lot of awkwardness. If your sacred no brings that up, then great, because it tells you going in the right direction. If you're absolutely chilled with your decision, you've given like whatever, you've kind of just dealt with the situation and you just feel very, very peaceful with it all, chances are you've people pleased because it's what you're used to. So get used to feeling that uncomfortability when you actually choose for yourself. And I don't care who you are. I know we all suffer with this, especially if we're really connected to energy. Find ourselves saying yes to things that we don't want to say yes to, and then it all kind of comes apart. So we really are walking a different line now. And for you women, I'm chucking this in there. Sorry, boys, but just bringing in the women now. There is a massive crone energy coming online. In fact, I think the biggest crone energy is Gaia, because she's ascending from third to 5D. And we are moving into this new age, golden age of Atlantis. I'm Aquarius, so like I'm feeling it big time. And so we should. We're moving into this space now, coming into crone energy, and that's a real wisdom keeper. And I know there's many women out there, a lot of you here, that we are in that. Your age alone and your presence on this planet, just being here before you even study anything, you fucking earned it. I'm sorry I swear a lot, but it's how I feel. You know what I mean? It's like you've earned it, So it's like those that are like not prepared to listen, they'll come later. But it's not that you've got to go out there and speak your truth. It's about presence. It's about energy. It's about how you hold your own space. That's being a true teacher, right? So now, a little question just to ask yourself: how much anxiety do you have from carrying for other people? That anxiety that we have and anxiousness, we need to sit with that. It could be many things. It's Christmas time, which personally, I don't want to sound like the Grinch, but I hate Christmas so much because it's just so, I'm so glad. I'm so glad Claire's nodding there, because I'm just like, I can't bring me January the 1st because it's very overwhelming for our systems, right? But it's like, the obligation, it's the biggest time of the year to really get into your darkness and shift some shadow, because you're forced to go and be with people you don't want to be with. You're forced into situations you don't want to do. You are going to be challenged to actually put this to the test more than any time of the year this year, right? So let's just put it out there. Can you pass the challenge? I know I'm working very, very, I know, Xmas, I love it. I hear yes. I'm so glad. My kids I haven't even got a Christmas tree up. I just can't, and my kids are grown now anyway, so whatever. But yeah, it's a very, very challenging time, but can we flip mode that and start to work with it to like bring some layers up, So now, and then we're nearly finished, then we'll get into Khnum. So now what's to come? Pre-season to take inspired action, right? And this is the time you're going to take it, okay? Like what does next year look like? Don't overthink it. Don't like, I have to do this, maybe Maybe you did want to take a course and go and do a painter's course. Maybe you wanted to go and do canvases or something like that. Maybe you want to do what I did, where I just thought, stuff it, I'm going to DJ school. It doesn't always necessarily have to be so directive to do with Hermetic teachings and all the rest of it. I mean, I just speak like that because my mission is big and it's directed at that. But when you think about it, like anything, everything is Hermetic backed anyway. But it might come to you that you might actually just want to go and do something which is just so enjoyable that you've always wanted to do. Remember, joy is your gateway to success. Okay, because that's what true success actually is, joy. So if you go and do something because you feel it makes sense because you're already qualified in that, and that would be good if you had that, yada, 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 then you're going in the wrong direction, right? It's like 2026 is all about the joy codes. You know what I mean? And that's it, and that's all. So if you're choosing anything else, you're compromising yourself. Yes, you can choose. Yes, it's your time to have exactly what you want to have, and then spirit will take the wheel, right? And what we must understand as well, where we get very stressed out, we're like, how are we going to get out of this? How are we going to change it? Trust and know that divine timing is going to do a lot of this. A lot of this. We're already starting to feel it now the solstice has come to pass, right? So a lot of that is going to start to come out in the wash. So Capricorn season is, here we go, self-mastery. Be intentional with what you're building or creating. So it really is like it's the fire horse next year. So you've got to be doing something, moving out of the shadow and into purpose. So I'm going to say that again, self-mastery. This is the Capricorn season, self-mastery, intentional with what you're building or creating, okay? Moving out of shadow and into purpose. So what you did do before was probably out of obligation. Now you want to trust and know. Don't even think there and go, how am I going to get paid for this? I was working as a lawyer and now I actually want to go and be a botanicalist or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, don't overthink it, because the thing is, it's like spirit will meet you. And I do believe that the wealth code in the next coming weeks, the wisdom wealth code is going to be given to us. And I want to share this story with you again. And I have done on another group because hope is a beautiful thing, but hope is happening. Went to bed the other night and I was actually thinking about all of you guys that I've spoken to. Many of you, they're like, I want to do Egypt. I want to do this with Marie, but it's just money. And I said to Spirit, I was like, listen, like all of us are basically on the same page. You've asked me to do these groups and open these portals, which I've done, but all of my tribe have got this money cap. And I was like, they want to come, but it's like, what are you doing here? They showed me this umbrella of golden energy like that. That's the all mind. So the all mind was there and they showed me like shooting, like this, all this light coming out. And that's us. I saw all of us up there. And they said that this cap up here is going to be taken off very soon, but they showed it's going to be done up there, So, and it was like, I could feel it was going to affect absolutely everybody. And I was having a conversation with somebody on a video call application for the tour, same thing. And she said, basically she felt it as well. She said, I really do feel that the wisdom wealth code is going to come in. And my response to that was, that I feel that this wisdom, this lack of wealth, this lack of wealth is being placed there for good reason. Because if we're all feeling it, all feeling that kind of like cap, I believe it's kept us safe. I know that sounds bonkers. I think it's been there for a reason to keep us aligned with the energy so we don't run out ahead of the crowd and do anything too soon and die. Do you know what I mean? Or like we don't go and hit that time before we're supposed to hit the sweet spot. I do believe this lack of abundance has been encoded into our DNA to be present until the time is right. And it keeps us all back. And just now, it's going to be released. And then we're all going to be wherever we want to be. You know what I mean? And that's how it's going to roll. So don't lose hope and don't get disheartened if you're like, Marie, this all sounds wonderful, ... But we're not talking about that. Money is done. Currency and wealth, totally different frequency. And that's what we hold. We hold this because we're the new earth. We couldn't fit into this old earth because our only purpose of coming here in this old earth was to break into 1,000,000 pieces. That's the only reason. We used that old world to not fit in so we could get drug addicted for 10 years, 3 nervous breakdowns and so on and so forth, a bit of depression in there. Yeah, all of the things, right? Abuse on every single level. Okay. And believe it, that was a short story of my life. And that was the only reason why we came to this old earth, to break apart, because we needed to put that into the grid. We can't put something back together if it's still in solid form. So if you've gone through that, that was what the old world was all about. But it wasn't our world. It wasn't our world. We came for the golden age of Aquarius. So now, here, you're going to think that you're going to be running into this new timeline with brute force going, oh God, got to limber up for this. But it's not going to be like that. It's going to be like a hot knife through butter because that's the world that we know. That's the world that we were encoded with. So it's going to be like a jigsaw piece puzzle match. And you're going to go, this is so easy though. And they're like, yeah, exactly. So we need it. That's a very important point that I'm sharing with you there because it's like it can get really hard because we kind of drag that over there. We're not doing that. We're about to go into the new age of Aquarius. We're stepping over it. Come like, February, it's a done deal. I'm telling you now. So yes, so I've spoken about moving out of shadow and into purpose. So now the reason Khnum came in, and I'm going to share with you now his medicine. All right. In fact, let me show you a card so you know what he looks like. He's on my altar as we speak. So this is Khnum. Okay. He's like a ram head. He's a ram-headed being, and he's a Nile god, and he's got very twisty horns, which is just like the DNA, okay, that we have. Now, understand and know that we're going from 2-strand to 12-strand DNA. And like Cyrus spoke about this a month or so ago when I was doing classroom, that we are actually changing our cells, our makeup, everything. And it's shifting. And we are unlocking that wisdom wealth code within our being. We're becoming a completely new species. They say, even Bashar was talking about this, and other people, even Gene Keys and everything, they actually were saying that we're going to test our bodies. We're going to be a different species by 2027. So that's the 12-strand DNA thing. I mean, if you're able to psychically, I mean, my channeling abilities are ridiculous right now. I've never known it to be so clear. And that's all of us, right? That's all of us. So basically that means that, all of our DNA, the 12 strand is where all your psychic abilities and everything sits. So if your abilities are increasing and your channeling is increasing and you're starting to feel a lot more kind of like intact with all of your superpowers, then that means that your 10 strand DNA, which they told us was junk, isn't that funny? They say, oh, your junk DNA. They wanted you to know that. It's your 12 strand DNA. It's where all your magic and superpowers are. That is the thing that's unlocking, right? This is very Khnum. Okay. So now, let's talk about him as I change journals. I'm like a mad professor when it comes to all of this, big mad researcher. So anyway, like I told you, I went and visited him today, and I'm going to share with you his medicine because we're going to go into a really, really powerful journey with him today that I would like to share with you. Okay. So he is, funnily enough, Capricorn. So that is the sign of the elder. All right. So he is connected to the Nile and source of life. All right. He recreates and regenerates the body. And he created all of us on his potter wheel. He creates the bodies of living things. So this is where like Ba and Ka, macabre, okay? That is where the Ba and the Ka of Egypt is kind of like, put in there. It's all part of the same thing. So now Ba is the human body or the soul body, okay? And Ka is the etheric spiritual body. So the way I understand this, because I always get so like sometimes the Egyptian mythology is very hard to get your head around. What I understand it as is your Ka body is your energy bodies, your light bodies here, which is your spirit, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual. So that's like, and that kind of energy. It's just spiritual bodies. And the Ba, human body, soul body, it's kind of like your physical. All right. So now Khnum supports our earthly movements and tasks, right? He's all about death and rebirth, which is why he's a Nile god, because the Nile is the portal for rebirth. And the keeper of that Nile really is actually Hathor. And they say that the Nile is made up of Isis's tears, who cried her little heart out when she found out Osiris has been killed. So there's so many beautiful stories that go with that, So Khnum is the one who unlocks and weaves our new DNA into our car bodies so we can embody change. Now, this is where it hots up a little bit. Now you understand where I'm going with this. Khnum is gentle. He holds our bodies so we can stand the new energies. The Khepera is the scarab beetle. The Khepera is the one for transformation. He's the one that's a very good luck charm. He goes in all of the pharaohs and everything like that into their tombs and everything. But Khepera is the one, the dung beetle that kind of rolls it, and it's like the sun. It goes all day, and it's all to do with Ra and the sun barge and everything like that. But ultimately in this conversation, he's all about transformation. Okay. So Khepera has determined like kind of like where we're going transformation wise, and Khnum's the one that makes us on his potter's wheel, right? Capricorn's all about authority, so this is why it's a very powerful time, because he rules laws that give form to society, police, governments, councils, and things like that, right? Now a mature Capricorn is ultimately fluid like a river. It's a real elder energy, okay? A mature Capricorn, and this is Khnum, because Khnum is very much a grandfather energy. He's the oldest god, okay? So yeah, so basically that's the backstory of Khnum, right? And he's a very, very, very powerful powerful guy to work with. So what I want to share with you now is very important in that. Now we're coming back to human times. So Khnum will shape your body every time it goes through a transformation. So that was like the mythology side of it. I'm now going to give you the everyday living in our bodies and our life, right? So what we seem to forget, and I think which trips us up the most, makes us feel very despondent. When you go through a massive transformation, like an aha moment, if you like, where you're like, oh my God, all the lights are turning on. I know, I know, I know. My God, I've got the secrets of the universe. It's all making sense. You fly high like a portal day. You're like, wow. And then you're like expanded, and everything for a day or so is just sweet as a nut. You're like, that's it. And then a day or so later, you get slammed, and then you feel shit. And then you're just like, oh my God, why is my physical body? I'm like, oh. What's happened is your energy light body being has expanded. That's the transformation. But then your physical body, so that's your car. So your physical body, the bar, has to integrate that. Okay. So it has to basically bring that into balance. So everything that you've just brought in light codes here, that's all well and good. But the true embodiment has got to come in here now. Oh, well, shit. I'm full of shadow. Okay. So, well, you've got to go. Well, I don't want to go. You've got to deal with me. And it's like, well, you know what I mean? So you've got to purge it out. So you're going to go through that. I'm not worthy, or whatever it might be. It's not very pleasant. Or you go through an energy sickness. And the energy in the body is clearing way to bring that realization in the light body being in. So what happens is we end up not doing the whole process. We do it 50% in, because it's all wonderful when you're in the stars and it's all like, yay. But when it comes to this, it gets hard, right? And then we go, oh my God, this is shit. And we resist, and we don't want to feel like it. And then I'm depressed. No, we have to understand that for every great teacher, you are also a student. So when you have the big teaching moment, this is where you become a student, because you learn from the body, because it says, look at this childhood thing. Do you understand why this happened now? Because of that. And you've got to unpack it. You've got to unpack it, but you must allow the physical body to be able to go through it. And Khnum said, it's like inhaling and exhaling. You must allow that process and this process to happen. And that is why you've all been kind of caught out, because it's been very difficult. It's not easy doing the shadow work, right? So that's kind of like how he rolls. So let me just see if there's anything else. Okay, so yeah, so physical body must now follow suit. Spoken about that. Yeah. So basically, when we want to speak to Khnum and we go through these processes, this is your guy. He's then gonna, you ask him for ease and grace and everything like that. So yeah, so this is what he's gonna do. So now in this understanding, this is a very, very powerful time where we are going through Khnum's process, right? We are really going through the process. Now, what he said to me today made complete sense. So what he was saying is, when I went and traveled and journeyed with him, and I'm going to take you through the same journey because it would be lovely to share that with you guys. What actually happened is I went to the halls of Amenti, and then I went through this big, beautiful, like water portal, and I'm walking underwater, but I can breathe. It's fine. I can breathe. And as I'm looking around the Nile, I'm walking along the bed of the Nile, and there's all these beautiful fish everywhere, whatever. And then I walk into another chamber where he's waiting for me, and he's there. And he was this beautiful grandfather energy. And he said to me, he said, basically, you are expanding your energy field. Okay. And he said, and that is where I step in to kind of like reconfigure your whole being. He says, I need to put you on my potter's wheel now, because when you go through a massive transformation in your energy field, you change. So you come down to me under the water, and he kind of like reshapes you. you know, because your DNA is changing. So he reshapes your physical body, right? And once he's done that, then you go back up to the middle world and you rinse and repeat. He said, but let it be known, this isn't a one-time hit. He said, there's two things that you're missing out on here. That was the first one I just shared with you, like rejecting the physical process to the transformation as a whole. The second one is thinking that you just got to do it once. He said, you go up, you come down, principle of rhythm. You go up, you come down. It's about us getting into the rhythmic nature, like rhythmic vibrations of nature now. This is where we're at. You are not beginners. None of you here are beginners. You understand what I'm saying, even though your human might be kind of going, well, I'm not quite sure. You do understand because like it resonates, you know, it's always the human going, I don't know about this chick, because it's your ego going, I don't want to die. She's going to make me die. Oh shit, this chick's going to take us to the death. Yeah, your ego is going to die. It's exactly what's happening, right? So now this is what's going to happen. So in this meditation that I went into, he said to me, what happens to clay? Because remember, he's on his potter's wheel. What happens to clay when it's wet? I thought this was very clever. And I was like, well, it gets all sticky and wet. And he says, yes, so I can mold you. He said, what happens to clay when you put it in the oven? I said, well, it gets hard. He says, yes, you become embodied. He said, that is the son of Ra. It's Ra who is the oven. And he basically brings that embodiment in to the physical realm. So he said, you come to me when you need to, you could even request it. If you feel like, oh my God, I need a little bit of help from Khnum here, grandfather energy, you go down to the Nile, go and see him and just say, listen, I need you to reshape me a little bit. I'm battling here. See what he comes up with. But that's what happens. You go into the water and then you kind of like clear your energy and everything like that. And the clay is wet. And then you go up into the oven, which is the son of Ra, and you know the rays of Ra, and then you just like really solidify what has just been changed, and then you're going to know when to go back underneath into the water again. Now listen, I'm sharing Khnum with you. You might actually have other water priestesses or other water gods that you connect with, but what I'm bringing into the place here now is water and fire. Okay, and that is the balance between the tablets of light Egypt and the tablets of light Avalon. Avalon is all about the water codes, all about the divine feminine to a point, creation. And then we go into the fire, which is basically like make something like more kind of like purposeful, you know, it's action, it's solidifying things, you know, so it's how you work with the elements. This is you as a hermetic practitioner. You know, you're working with the elements, you're playing with it, and it brings out different things in you. Okay, so that is Khnum, and I really invite you to kind of like deep dive with him and, you know, kind of like see what he has to say to you. He's a very, very wise elder. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take you into this. I'm just going to see if I've missed anything out here that I wanted to share. Hang on a second. Okay, yeah. So basically, the principle of the day is principle of rhythm, all right? So I would really like you to kind of like work with the natural ebbs and flows of that because it's gonna serve you well, especially in this timeline. So without further ado, we're gonna go into a meditation now, and I'm gonna take you into a journey to go and meet with Khnum. And we're gonna go and play around a bit in the water and just like, you know, see what it's all about. And then you can like let me know how that feels in your beings, you know? So sorry, my new pod mic is a little bit flashy with its light, isn't it? It's like it's distracting me. It must be distracting you. Hang on a second. Not that it's going to matter because you're closing your eyes now anyway, you know? But let's do that. I think that's better, isn't it? Right, guys, get yourself comfortable. Take a nice big deep breath in. Inhale. And breathe out. And then breathe in again. Inhale. And breathe out. One more like that. Make it your biggest one. Breathing in. And I want you to hold it there. Hold. Hold it for a bit longer. A little bit longer. And breathe out. Now, allow yourself to come into a much quieter space. Feeling the energy of that liminal space, the threshold. Now, this liminal space is the most powerful space for magic. And magic is transformation. Magic is medicine. So when we come to these points of crossovers, thresholds, when we come to the point where a cycle ends and a new one begins, it is the most potent time for mastery, for magic. Each and every one of you, that these words arrive in your ears and your consciousness. If you are hearing it, you are indeed a master. And you're a master, why? Because you have come here lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Even within this life, you never gave up. And what did that mean? It meant going back to the same thing again and again and again until it was cleared, until it was integrated, until it was understood, until it was soul retrieved. That is what true mastery is. It is not an ego flex. It is a pure expression and proof that you have endeavored something again and again and again, and now you've got it in inverted commas right. So you are indeed a master. The biggest lie and illusion that falls away with the old earth is indeed that you are anything less than that. How this expresses in the new earth timeline is between you and the all mind. You are the all mind. You and your higher self. Every single thing that is about to unfold in your life is ordained. You've chosen it. So there is no problem here. There is no need to worry here. Sometimes great stillness and void-like energy can instill an insecurity or two. If you are feeling anxious, do not chase it away. Be with it. Allow it. For those are just remnants of the old energy coming to the surface. Those are aspects of you calling to be back home with you in your heart. So allow every emotion that you are feeling to come to the surface. Sit with it, be it good, bad, or indifferent. For where you are going is of great promise. You will meet like-minded souls like yourself. No longer will you be sat behind a TV screen connecting. This is why we all incarnated. This is why we sit with each other today. Hear my call to action. Hear my call. And this is very much Sekhmet speaking with me right now. I can feel her as she's just come in. That hear my call, it's her. I had to just shift over and let her in a little bit on my seat. She's saying she called her children home. And home was not to a place out there. Home was embodied. Home is in your heart, because your heart is her heart. It's home. She keeps saying it's home. And this is the presence that you hold, this wholeness. And you did not come this far to, in your human terms, fail. Failure is not what you think. It is an opportunity and an invite to go back in and spit and polish, so to speak, your skills. It's an opportunity of grand rising. It's an opportunity of improving on what you already have within you. Your light, your presence is very much needed. If you ever thought that it was irrelevant whether you were here or not, think again. It is time to gather. Each and every one of us, now it is time to gather. And this is a very exciting time of becoming. As the solstice energies just wash through us right now, we are now coming into a place of absolute renewal. The work here is done. It is now time for play, beloveds. It's now time for play. And this you will realize, because there is a slight absence of trust, it is a little bit like being in a damaged relationship. One dark night of the soul after another, one shadow escapade after another. More pain, more pain, more pain. We understand that you are a little apprehensive, so to speak, to step into the new world, but your soul knows it deep down. True enough, your higher self knows that where you go, it is beauteous. Because that's the truth of who you are. You have cracked open the layers that have told you otherwise, all the shadow layers of concrete that told you you were broken, unloved, unsupported. You now realize that it's lies. And the illusions are fast falling away as the masks fall off, not only others around you, but yourself too. Why you pretend and be something small that you are not? For you are very powerful, and you have always been so. And why? Because you are not separate from one another. You all come from the all mind, the I am presence. You are part of the one heart consciousness. When you give to another, you receive yourself. When you feed another, you feed yourself. And you are now starting to understand this. And this is a beauteous, true homecoming, is it not? And now Sekhmet stands with Thoth. Thoth comes to the other side of me. And he stands on the other side of you as well, along with Mother Sekhmet. And we now begin our journey, or rather descent, to the halls of Amenti. So you take a big deep breath. And as you exhale, you fall and lean into the arms and the hearts of Sekhmet and Thoth as you journey down to the underworld. And the underworld can be accessed in many places, but we go through the portal of the Great Sphinx. And as we descend into the earth, down into the darkness, darkness doesn't scare you anymore. Doesn't come across as fear. You get excited because it's an opportunity to expand. Suddenly you find yourself stood in front of the most biggest god, guarding the door. In fact, you have to snap your neck to look up at him. And he looks down, his long dog snout, arms folded, regal, kind of unapproachable, just a little bit. And his name is Anubis. Anubis, the protector of secrets, a true Atlantean being in Egyptian form. You are accompanied by Sekhmet and Thoth, who also look a little bit small up against this guy. And you ask, with the presence of these powerful beings stood by the side of you, please grant me entry to the halls of Amenti. And Anubis looks down. Sekhmet legs out, massive roar. Thoth surrounds you in emerald light. Anubis steps aside, they step away, you step in. And you enter into the halls of Amenti. Now, this is very, very dark corridors. There's lots of different doors and places to go through. Because remember, this is the halls of learning. And there is a powerful energy in this place. And let it be known that each time you visit the halls of Amenti, it will change in its form every single time. Some days you will enter here and it will be a crystalline star being temple. Some days you enter here and it will feel like you are in Dracula's castle. Some days you will enter here and it'll be like a school classroom because it changes, it's ethereal, it's energetic. And right now you're walking into a very dark place, actually, where there's like big old fashioned medieval doors everywhere, but you know where you're going. And as you walk right to the end of the corridor because you can see this beautiful iridescent blue light. And that blue light is what's calling you now. For Khnum is calling you. You ask for the council, but ask for the audience with Khnum. And you feel a magnetic pull now all the way to that doorway, to that portal. And as you stand before it, it's like a shimmering, like water way, as it were. And you just step right through. And as you do so, you step right into the water. You are underwater now in the Nile. First of all, you get a bit lost because it's like finding Nemo, because you're just like, wow, this is beautiful. All the fish, the softness of the sand beneath your feet, the vibration of the Nile frequency, the water on your being. Unbelievable. You take a moment just to enjoy the energy of that. But you remember you're here for a certain mission. You keep walking and walking and walking. until you come to like a cave kind of situation, still underwater. And this cave, this kind of like opening, it's underwater. You stand at the doorway. And as you walk in, you are exposed. You expect it to be dark. It's actually not. You walk in this doorway, which is like a cave doorway, and it's so open and beauteous and bright. And in that chamber, it's kind of like a glass chamber, and you can actually look up like one of those aquariums, and you can just see the water all around. But you and Khnum are stood in this beautiful sacred glass chamber, and he's met you there. And you sit before him. You bow your head, and he's this beautiful big energy. He has he has like a ram's head and very, very spiral horns. And as you stand before him, you just feel that the first thing you need to do is sit at his feet. Just like a little grandchild, of which you do. He strokes the back of your hair and he is happy that you have come. You take a moment to receive that. Take a moment to feel what that feels like when he holds your space like that. That real old, ancient, elder, divine masculine grandfather energy. How does that feel in your being? Makes you feel held, makes you feel loved. And do you know why? Because he's known you since time started. Since the first time you incarnated on this earth, Gaia, he has known you. He created you time and time again on his potter's wheel. On lifetimes where you were injured from war, from being a warrior or warrioress, you came to his potter's wheel and he fixed you up, sent you back out there just like your granddad would do. But this time, this is very sentimental, for he has seen you grow after lifetime upon lifetime, and you look up at him and you say, Khnum, I'm at the threshold. After all the transformations and changes in my body, I know this is the ultimate one. And I would really like your help because there's been so much change in my energy field, so much change in the world. And I need you to bring your magic and your security and your grounding and reshape me in the way, in your mind's eye, in the eyes of you, Khnum. Shape me, the new me, into the new earth timeline. First of all, he turns round to you and said, it's time to let the old body go. It's time to give sentiment and love and awe and gratitude to the body that has actually walked you through to this time now. And when you do that, I will assist you greatly. So you take a moment, you stand on his potter's wheel, and as you stand on the potter's wheel, it slowly rotates. And it's rotating anti-clockwise, which is unlocking everything, because anti-clockwise unlocks the magic and the power. And you can actually feel the Heka flying around you as he slowly rotates you. But as you're doing this, you're letting go of the old body. You're letting go of the old wounds, the old injuries, the old memories that the body is holding. And he starts to turn you faster and faster. Not too fast, though. Just enough to get a little bit of velocity, as it were. And as you move in circles, you start to shed. You shed everything. Each circle and circumference, you shed something else. Each circle and circumference, you shed like the pains in your back. Each circle and circumference, let him turn you and twist you. If you have any ailments now, call on Khnum's power of healing and let go of those ailments in your body now. Or let go of any hang-ups you have towards your physical vessel. I will leave you for a moment or two while he gently and magically spins you, allowing you to let go of those layers now. And now he stands before you and he starts to bring his magic clay and he starts to shape you in the eyes of Mother, Father, God, exactly as you were in the beginning. But it's been lifetimes of war, spiritual wars. It's been a lot. But now he's bringing you right back to the beginning, the original form of you. And he has these beautiful, kind hands. And it's almost like you're getting a massage as well. And he can feel the tension in your body And as he moves his hands over your skin, he releases every single ailment, tension, anxiousness. Slowly moving around, not taking so much care not to miss any part of you. And now you stand looking down at Khnum, and he's nodding like he's happy with his work. And he helps you step down. And he says, it's now time for you to activate in the sun. And you think, huh? How am I going to get up there? Claps his hands. You timeline jump. Gone. Physical gone. Jump. And you find yourself suddenly standing in the middle of the desert, right next to the Nile, facing the son of Ra, the one supreme God. The sun is high and it is bellowing with the fire energy. And then suddenly you are rejoined by Sekhmet and Toth. And as you stand there glistening with your skin, because your clay is a little bit wet still, all of a sudden, Sekhmet, she roars at the sun and she calls to her father to now release the rays of purpose, release the rays of activation and knowing. And all of a sudden, these sun rays just start pouring down on you. And it's hot, but it doesn't burn you. It embodies and solidifies the new you. And she's working, boy. She's walking around you. She's roaring and she's in the desert. She's fire hot herself. And she's calling in those healing rays of Ra. And even though you are looking at the sun and he's not in his God form, he is speaking to you the whole time. And you know who you are now. You know who you are. You are supported, so supported. And you're only realizing it now. And as the sun eventually sends its last ray down and your clay, your new being and body is like solidified, Sekhmet steps back and then Toth works his magic. And he walks around you and he's now cultivating the emerald frequency all around you, almost like he's bringing the chocolate sprinkles. And now what he's doing is he's actually bringing frequency to bring an extra layer of stability and form because Sekret brings the fire and Toth brings the form. And as he walks around you, weaving his emerald green magic all around you, there are flicks and flecks of gold as well. And he places his hand on your heart and he looks deeply into your eyes and he speaks some words, which is not like language. It's a language I've never heard before, but he's speaking it now. But you start vibrating. And what's happening here is he's sending an energy transference off the back of Sekhmet's fire. And he is now activating your tablet of light within, which is essentially your DNA, which you've just worked with Khnum. It's all part of the whole. And as you activate these tablets of light, you start to get flashes of promise, ideas, what you could do next year and beyond, what your life's really about. And now I want you to take a moment while Toth really ramps up that energy that he's sending into your being, awakening your blueprint, aka your tablet of light. I want you to now feel all of these flickers and all of these possible ideas that are coming to you now. What did you come here to do? What brings you joy? Free from the chains of the past. You're free to choose. You're supported. You are loved. And you're whole. Now I can feel your third eye coming online, which means the vision, the idea is awakening. You're now looking to the horizon. I can feel it. And Sekhmet is very, very cuddly with you now. She's walking around you and wrapping her tail around your leg and your ankle, and her whiskers are touching your face. And it's playful. And that's the message she wants to bring. Stop taking it so seriously. Let the fires just flicker. And then Toth releases his hand and he looks to Sekhmet. And they're both smiling. They're having a lot of fun with this with you. Laughter is the key to all that you do in the future. Laughter, joy, and play. Even doing deep, deep work holding a mission which is very, very intense. Doesn't have to be if you bring the element of joy. You kind of feel, big sigh come out. And the message is now everything is unlocked. Everything is now being put out in front of you. And in the coming days, you will have dreams, insight. You'll fall across a book that will ignite excitement. You'll have a conversation with somebody who makes you feel incredibly good. It's all coming to you. And all of the protection layers are now done. Khnum has now seen to that. He has granted you a brand new body. And as you stand there with Thoth and Sekhmet underneath the rays of Ra, with the Nile flowing next to you, knowing that Khnum is watching from beyond, this is it. This is it now. It is now time for you to stride forward and do what you always knew that you came here to do. So after this temple meeting, you may want to journal. No more trauma bonding with anyone or anything. You are no longer going to go down to that level to connect with someone. You are now going to connect through inspired vision, inspired action, purpose, excitement, infinite possibilities. Those that feed your soul and ignite your flames and your tablet of light. So taking a nice big deep breath in now, inhale. And as you exhale, bring all of that energy in and around you. We really don't want to switch it off or leave it behind. Take another big breath in now as well. And as you exhale, just let your energy settle. And then just to bring your energy field in a little, if you're not too sure on how much, we can ask Sekhmet and Thoth, please reduce your energy field to a place that's comfortable and contained. And when you have done so, we now spin a golden thread of golden protective energy around it, not because we're fearful. We just want to keep it all in. We want to keep all the good stuff. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back to this space. Oh, Claire, you're all red. What happened to you? How was that, my lovelies? Oh, Michelle, how are you, my darling? Okay. So I'm just going to look at the emerald green coming off my microphone. I'd like to think that that's toast, but it is actually the light on my microphone. It is dreamy. Hey, it's like, yeah, it is dreamy. So I'm just going to pull us some cards just to seal off the session. You, I know, right? Try holding space for all of you bloody powerhouses. I'm sweating. You know? Oh, I'm so, yeah, I actually felt your emotion as well, actually, Claire. When I got to a certain point, I was like, ooh, gonna not cry on this one. And I always cry, you know? It's that grandfather energy, man. It gets me every single time. So let's just see what the ancient stones are telling us, just to seal off this very beauteous session, okay? And then, okay, so now it's getting dark in here as well. Ancestral messages. Let me put my light on. Okay. It says ancestral messages, connection, belonging, ask for help. There we go. I don't know whether you can see because these cards are very, very light, but yeah, that is all the ancestors there. Can you see all their faces? Well, that's Khnum, that's Sekhmet, that's Thoth, it's all of the rest of it, you know? So ancestral messages, connection, belonging, ask for help, okay? Then, oh my God, didn't I say about volcanoes? Can't write this shit. Okay, there's a volcano, guys. So that's the birthing of Gaia and her dragon energy as we speak right now, especially in Ethiopia, which is not too far from here. Relationships express, don't stagnate, okay? So now this is beautiful, but this for me is just like a message from Gaia as well. So that really encompasses and confirms what we were talking about, okay? And then the final one, the secret chamber. potency, deep connection, and treasure. What do we say about going into the underworld? Don't fear those dark places because that is where you're really going to be able to connect. Okay. And that is, like I say, potency, deep connection, and treasure. So, where we're going is like we're not scared of the dark anymore, are we? So. Yeah, so I love those cards, ancestral messages, the volcano, and the secret chamber. So, with that, my darlings, that is our post new moon solstice vibe. Okay. And I really just want to say, because I know each and every one of you have got so much power. And I've been starting to work with quite a few people who are just like stepping out, leaving corporate and like switching over here, people that like have been in this job and they're over here. And it's like I can see it going on before my eyes. And it's a very, 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 you're so welcome. You're so welcome, Claire. And yeah, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I want this. Okay, I want this temple meeting for those that are really like itching to get something done. In the next couple of months, I'm going to call it. I'm going to put it in my diary in 2 temples time. I want people to share with what they have achieved. I'm putting you on the spot now. Do you know what I mean? And what they have achieved. Do you know what I mean? And what they have brought into fruition. And I'm just Debbie. I'm going to give you a shout out here, love, because I know that you got hold of me the other day and you manifested a car. So I was just like, well, there you go. Hey, so it can be done because Debbie's doing it in Atlanta, let me tell you. So yeah, but it's coming. But collectively, we're not supposed to do it on our own. Collectively, this is why these temple classrooms are very, very important. Anyway, my loves, I'm going to wish you a very, very beautiful Christmas for those of you that like Christmas. Thank you, Capri. I don't. But thank you guys, all of you, for your messages here. I'm so glad like you brought the emotion. We can't do this level of work unless we're together. So thank you for showing up. And I will see you on the next temple classroom. Merry Christmas, balls and all of that. And I'll see you on the next one. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you later. Bye-bye.